Ooh. Yum.
So today, guys, we're going to look at a new car. Which, if you don't know, I actually had the car that I wanted. It was a 2010 and not a newer one. So, we're going to look at a new one. With that insurance money, you know. But, so what happened is I had a 2010 Subaru WRX, okay? And I didn't crash it, but I was in a wreck. I was on the highway, you know, chilling. I bought an exhaust for it, you know. I was gonna make a video, be like, putting on the new exhaust, rev it up, you know, do some cool stuff. So I bought the exhaust, went to the muffler shop because I couldn't get any of the bolts off. Me and my friend were trying to. I put like a nut buster on it, you know. Nut buster on it and some WD-40 on it. But we couldn't get the bolts off, so, you know, I waited probably a day and went to actual muffler shop, and I was just, you know, like, depending on how much it is, if it's like $100, then I'll just have them put it on, you know, because it's only $100, you know, whatever. It's like a $600 exhaust system, so, you know, I'd rather everything be perfect than me welding it together or doing whatever and messing it up than a professional, you know, doing it the right way, because I'm not a professional by any means. But so, back to the story. So I was driving back from the muffler shop because they wouldn't cut into my bumper, which I was going to do because I didn't want to buy a new bumper, so I was just going to cut a little slit and be like, okay, dual exhaust, because it was a dual exhaust muffler, and I only had a single exhaust on the car already. So I'm driving back from the muffler shop. I'm like, you know, listening to my aux cord music, like, you know, this is a great song. Just chilling, driving my nice WRX, and out of nowhere, it's a triple lane. So I'm going down the very left-hand side, but it's a cutoff. So there's a fork in the highway or whatever, interstate, whatever you want to call it, going right, and then one going left. And I'm in the left lane, but I'm going towards the right side, right? But I'm in the very far left, and there was a lady to the right of me, like just in front of me where my right side tire is, the right passenger tire is, and I guess she was trying to make the exit to the left, and she cuts across, and so of course, her being like right beside me, hits my car, my beautiful car, and she spins in front of me. I'm like, oh crap, I don't even know what's going on. I feel like I blacked out. She is directly in front of me sideways, me pushing her forward, and then slams into the barrier, spins out, goes to the left, and I just go head on into the barrier. And so the car was on fire. I was like bleeding from my nose, airbags. I was like so lost. I was super mad. I was like, oh my god, because I only had the car for literally like 3 months, and that's my dream car, to own a WRX. Like, I'm only 20 years old, so of course that type of car is going to be my dream car. Like, I don't want a Prius. We're going to look at a new one. It's a 2016 WRX, and like, I really want the car. Of course I do, you know, like owning the car for 3 months, like I loved it. Like, I got to spend time in the snow with it, you know. If anyone has a Subaru out there and drifts in the snow, you know, it's super fun, you know. It's super fun owning a car like that. Like, Subaru makes brilliant cars, and, you know, having a new engine in it, I'd be getting more gas mileage. So, you know, like, it's a blessing that this happened to me, honestly, because my life was kind of going a little bit downhill at the time. Like, at least it seemed like it was, because I worked at Sam's Club, and I was a supervisor there, and our store got shut down, so we weren't making enough money, so the store got shut down. I was like, oh my god, I'm losing my job, like, what am I gonna do? But I took the severance or whatever it was to focus on school, which I didn't focus on school. I meant to focus on school, but I didn't focus on school, you know. Party life, just kidding.
16.
But, you know, so I just took the money and kind of chilled out and really enjoyed my life. And about the same time, I got into a car accident, you know, the lady hit me or whatever. I'll post pictures in the video and like of what happened pretty much, because there's a police report obviously, and they like kind of mapped it out so you can actually really see what happened. And I'll post pictures of the car as well. But so I've actually been having a huge bad experience with looking for the car. You know, I've contacted dealers, I've, you know, messaged them, emailed them, given them calls. I guess necessarily it's not their fault that they sell the car before I actually have a chance to look at it and purchase it and talk to them on the phone, because like I'm working, I'm in school, you know, I'm doing a lot, so I can't really make a phone call or answer a call at that time, you know, because I don't want to be like unprofessional and like be at work on the phone or be in class on the phone talking to a dealer. So some bad experiences. I'm not gonna name any names or like dealership names, but I've had like terrible experiences with them so far, because they just treat me with so much disrespect, like hella disrespect. And it's crazy, like just because I'm young, like they don't know that I have insurance money to buy the car outright, you know, they don't know that. So they just been giving me super disrespect because they believe like I'm young, like, oh, he's just coming in here, look at the car, you know, or like emailing me like he doesn't really buy, he's not really gonna buy the car even though I've got the money. They don't know that. And it's kind of super disrespectful, like just because I'm young, they think I'm naive and they can treat me a certain way. Just because you're an older person, you can't act like a certain way because, you know, you think I'm young. Like, no, you can't act like that. It doesn't give you a right. But, so let's start with the first story, I guess. So I actually emailed this dealer, and you know, I was like in love with this car. Like there was a white WRX with black accents to it, and for some reason I was in love, or am in love with that car, because it just looks amazing with the white and then the black accents. It just makes the whole car like stand out even more. So I was like, okay, I really want that car, and it was a great price, you know. I Kelly Blue booked it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna offer them this, because that's like a great price for the car, you know. With like 20,000 miles, like, okay, great price, you know. So I'm emailing them. I don't even know if they read my emails first off, because I offered a price. I was like, hey, I'm like 6 hours away. What's like a transfer fee? Because I'm not trying to drive 6 hours when I don't even have a car. So my girlfriend doesn't want to drive 6 hours just to get a car for me. And they're like emailing me back like, let's take a test drive. Like, bro, you want me to drive 6 hours first off to take a test drive when I'm not even 100% sure I want to buy this car? Like, because price wise, like, you know, they didn't mention anything about what I said really in the email. So I was like, okay, you're pretty much ignoring the emails that I sent. And I got like hella voicemails because I called them several times, tried to get in touch with them, but it was never the right time because I wasn't, you know, on their schedule, or they weren't on my schedule, because I'm at work and they're not at work when I'm not at work, you know, so it kind of vice versa type of thing there. Anyway, we never got in touch, and they sold the car, and I was like super disappointed, you know. I was like hella disappointed because I wanted that car, like loved that car for some reason. It just felt like the right fit for me by just looking at it, you know when the right fit is for you. Like, look at her and I'm like, right fit, baby. So I'm like, okay, you know, like I was kind of spiteful. I emailed him, I was like, you know, I've got this amount of money to put down, and it was a pretty big chunk. Like I was like, I'll probably do like 12K, you know, if you can find the right car for the right price. Because like I said, I don't want to buy the car outright. I just want to have a huge down payment and be able to build some credit, you know. So I told him that, and I was like, if you can find the exact car, you know. And he was like, oh, well, we just transferred it to another dealership pretty much, or traded it for the same car, really, just without the accents. And I was like, you know, cool. I'll email them, same thing, give them calls, and then we couldn't get in touch again. We finally did. We sold the car. But before that, actually, I was at the mall with her. We were at a car show, just because I love to look at good cars, even if it's not my car. I don't have a good car, you know. I love to look at beautiful cars. So we're at the mall from the car show, and I get a call from another one of the people at this dealership that this guy is working with. The guy, excuse me, the guy I actually talked to was pretty nice, you know, for the most part. Because I know he's got like other people he's in competition with to sell the car. You know, he's got to make ends meet, he's got to sell the car, you know, end of story. So another one of the dealers at the dealership called me and was like, hey, pretty much like blah blah, we're talking. I'm like, okay, I think this is a good price. And he's like, where have you seen that price at? You know, like pretty much calling me a liar and on the phone, like, that, no, that's not the price for the car. Like, I don't know what Kelley Blue Book you're looking at, what blah blah blah. And I was like, you know, maybe you're right. Like, I looked at where I live and they're 6 hours away, and then I literally went into the phone, Kelley Blue Booked it, and it's the same price, you know, same. I used their address and I was like, you know, it's the same price that I'm offering pretty much. And he's like, no, I'm looking at it right now, pretty much calling me a liar. Like, I'm looking at it right now. That's not what the thing says. And I'm like, well, I'm looking at it too right now. I took a screenshot. You want me to email it to you? And then he is pretty much, well, why don't you buy a car near you? And I'm like, they don't have them near me, you know, like, they really don't. It's hard to get a Subaru in Nashville. Like, no one owns a Subaru here that's like the price range that I want. So he pretty much just called me a liar and then was like, okay, good luck finding a car in Nashville, and hung up. And I was like, why are you gonna treat me like that? Like, obviously I want the car, obviously I have the money. Like, why would I be contacting the dealer, you know, and be like, just to look at cars when I don't have the money? Like, no. So he was super rude to me, and I just had a super bad experience trying to find the Subaru, because once I called him, you know, it's been sold. Like, okay, that sucks, you know, immediately. And this is like not even in my neighborhood, or neighborhood I say like 100 miles, you know, because that's probably the most I'd drive for a car, really, in general. And so there's actually one that's about 13 miles from us, which I'm super excited about, and we're going to hopefully get it today. I really want to get that car today, because I need a car. Like, I can't bum rides for, you know, a year until I find the right car.